Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Pace, and welcome back to everyone who's already a subscriber to the show. Please subscribe and hit the notification button if you aren't already a subscriber, so you can get more great interviews like the one we're doing right now with the new Cage Wars amateur featherweight champion Miguel Deku Francisco. Champ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me once again.
Always fun having you on the show. I've been following you for quite a while now, and big fight just a couple days ago, Saturday, just a few days ago. Big win, decision win over a very tough opponent who previously had only had one loss. You gave him his second loss and got the belt for Cage Wars. Give me kind of the overview. What was it like coming back after your injury and getting a big win in a title fight? And now you're the featherweight champ for Cage Wars.
Yeah, so unfortunately in my July fight I got knocked out, so I had to reassess and talk with my coaches, and they all suggested that I move up back to 45 and find my comfort there, just put on some muscle and get comfortable at that weight class again. So what I ended up doing was I got a message from Cage Wars, and they offered me Jerry, and they said that he was a really tough opponent, and I wanted tough fights. I always was told by my coach to take the toughest fights possible. He's also their kickboxing champion, so he's like their double champ at 145. So I was like, absolutely, I want this fight. Watching his fights over, I knew the style like help show my style with my striking, because as you know, with all my 247 fights, they've all been quick, whether I've won or lost. So I haven't really gotten the chance to showcase my skills. I remember last time we talked, talking about my MMA fights, I wanted to do a win by decision, which is a rare thing for people to say, but it's because I wanted to showcase my skills, and I finally got to do that, so I'm very happy. It was a really good fight. I won rounds 1 and 3. He won the second round. The first round I completely dominated. I dropped him with the first punch, got him down on the ground, and mounted him for the first minute. In the second minute, it was pretty even on the stand-up, and then I shot a takedown, and he got a good sprawl in, and he got some good ground and pounding on me. And in the third round, I turned it up because my corner told me that it was 1-1, so it was now or never. I had to win the round, so I did what I could. I held him against the cage. I pushed the pace, and in the last 10 seconds, I did a Max Holloway. I pointed at the ground, and I said, "Let's bang it out." And we just swung until the bell rang. And he was a really good guy, a really nice opponent, really good definition of a martial artist. He's really respectful. We hung out after the fights. I always try to hang out after my fights with my opponents because that's just how I am. I like to be friends with everybody. We're all in this sport for the same reason. So I try to be friends with all that. So pretty good weekend, I'd say.
It was a fantastic weekend for you. And of course, we talked to schedule this fight that you just came out of coaching a session. So we'll get to that. The fact that you're both a champ, an active fighter, looking at a pro career in the future, and also a coach. So great stuff there. You posted the last 10 seconds of your fight video to Facebook. So I saw you guys throw into the bell there. So that was really cool. I noticed you mentioned he was a kickboxer. I noticed that he appeared to be just maybe, and it's always hard to see in video, but maybe an inch or two taller than you. Was that something that you had to consider? You're nodding. So what was his height and reach like to you? And was that another reason why you wanted to take a longer, taller opponent to really step up your game?
He taught me. He was a little bit bigger than me too. So I watching all the fights, just like studying him and how to beat him, knowing where he puts his hands whenever he throws certain kicks and throws certain punches. We just capitalized on that. I noticed that every time he threw his kicks, he had one certain side of his hands down. So if you watch the fight over, you'll see that like I still throw certain combinations based off of what he would throw, because my style is more of a counter striker.
Sure.
So I would just go based off of what he did.
Well, yes, being a counter striker makes a lot of sense, and studying your opponent is fantastic. It's really great to see you getting this big win. Losses always suck, but you handled it very the best you can. They suck for a reason, but you kept your attitude. You immediately were saying, both to me and others, that it's just a fight game. You're going to be back better. And to jump from one title fight where you're fighting a good guy to another title fight where you're a good guy, clearly that goes to show you and your gym taking tough fights, not looking for, some easy back end fight. So overall, just fantastic. When you look back at the year of 2023 in life and in fighting, you had multiple fights. It looks like two came to fruition. And so what has the year 2023 been like for you as you look forward? Now we're just a couple weeks away to the new year.
Honestly, like I was excited. I was gonna trying to be as active as I could, getting a bad concussion, so I had to cancel my title fight against a really game opponent that I was excited to face that was supposed to be in April. And then also, unfortunately, in July, I lost my fight. So that first half, it was really, really demoralizing for me. But I really had to dig deep. My friends were there for me. Everybody that was there for me, my family, they helped me find myself and believe in myself. And once I started to believe in myself again, and get good mentally, I took that October Jiu-Jitsu match against Josh Kuslaw,
Yep.
which is a great match. A lot of fun with him. And then I immediately went to fight. Half of the year I definitely had more of like a kind of put me back under the radar. So I'm glad that I'm back on top.
Yeah, it's a great attitude to have, champ. You're back on top. I got to be cage side and call the action for your very nice triangle armbar win against a current college wrestler in Josh Kushlik. And so that's actually three times in the cage in the year overall. Dealing with your injury back in April that knocked out the Chris Ioneri fight, which was potentially incredible matchup, but injuries happen, and then another injury. So overall, you really battled through the year. It's great to see you finish the year as Cage Wars champ. I obviously would love to see you back in the 247 cage. Clearly, you got stuff to consider. Figure out 2024. I know as the champ, there are times that there's a bit of an expectation to defend. So whatever you end up doing, whether it be for Cage Wars or for 247 or something else, I'm honored to continue to follow your career. You've shown a lot of heart and determination for not only that particular fight that you won against Jerry, but also coming back after the July card. Just fantastic having you on the show as always. Let's get to your gratitude / sponsor shout outs, anybody and anything you need to thank and appreciate coming out of this big win.
Yeah, obviously I want to thank my team at Stout, and everybody in Pittsburgh. Honestly, everybody in Pittsburgh helped me out for this fight. It wasn't just a one gym type thing. Everybody in Pittsburgh helped me get ready for this fight, being that it was an out of city fight. So everybody from Pittsburgh had my back. So I really appreciate that. Shout out to all my sponsors. The Hurt Locker helped me get in amazing condition for this fight. This is the least tired I've ever been in a fight, so I was ready to go. That's why I slugged it out in those last 10 seconds. Shout out to my barber. They sponsor me. They help me with the haircuts. Good Vibes. They're called Good Vibes. Two Fight Bros always helps me out with promoting my social media. They're also the ones who sponsor me. And then I have two restaurants that sponsor me. Being Cured, it's my dad's restaurant that he's been working at since 2005. So they've been helping out me a lot with training fees, and as well as my childhood best friend. They sponsor me as well. It's Old Mexico. It's a restaurant, really good Mexican restaurant if you guys are ever in the Washington area. And lastly, my last sponsor that I have is Robinson Chiropractic. It's in Washington, and he helps get me set with my neck and everything. Being whenever I had my injury in February, I have neck problems, so he's been helping me out with that a lot. So, and then whenever I'm not there, obviously Isaac helps me out with my neck whenever I need it.
Sure. Just you're a great representative of not only Pittsburgh MMA, but more specifically the Mat Factory. And just, I'm sorry, Stout. Of course I butchered that up. I apologize. But you had just mentioned Isaac Greeley, so you have to forgive me when I went with the Isaac Greeley because he's not only a coach of the Mad Factory, he's also a doctor of chiropractic. So, but Stout, you really represent Pittsburgh and Stout very, very well. Just incredible seeing your development. I still remember getting your name and contact information from the Cahill brothers, who are fantastic guys, telling me that you're this amateur fighter. This was a couple of years ago, and you've got all the skills, and you've really been putting it together. So hats off to you on really a great finish as champ going into 2024, really at the best possible way now that you put everything together. So congratulations to you and your team and all those that support you. Always important to thank all the sponsors like you just did, knowing that those individuals or those businesses, small businesses that sponsor fighters, amateur or pro, really makes a huge difference. And a lot of times, people don't always appreciate how much of a difference that makes. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving them a shout out on the show tonight. Thanks so much for coming back on. Always exciting to have you on. First time you were on as a champ. First of hopefully many times more that you'll be coming on MMA Fancast with Luke Basin with talking about championship belts and championship titles. So thanks so much for coming on the show. Your Cage War featherweight amateur champ, Miguel Deku Francisco. Best. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year to you. You take care, champ.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again. Yeah.
Absolutely.